Ethereum continues on a crazy pump towards the upside, but how much higher can we go? In today's episode, we're going to look at the Ethereum price as well as the Ethereum versus Bitcoin price, which is showing something very interesting. So make sure you stick around to the end of the episode to see my Ethereum price targets for today. Hello guys, and welcome to the House of Crypto. I make videos about Ethereum as well as NFTs, Chainlink, VeChain. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to be kept up to date with all the latest happening in crypto. I'm going to be bringing many more videos to you on a daily basis from now on. So if you remember guys, a few days ago I was telling you about this rising wedge pattern, which we said that if it broke out would take us up to around the $3,775 level, and as you can see, pretty much as we speak, we're around that price level now, and in fact pushed all the way up to the $3,840 level. So what is it that's deciding these levels that are here at the moment? So if we pull ourselves out, if we have a zoom out and we pull a Fibonacci retracement from the previous swing high all the way down to the swing low, you can see something very significant, which is the 0.786 forming significant resistance. In the past, we did come up and we broke through quite significantly all the way up to 3,991 before coming back down and testing this as support. In fact, we did that quite a few times. So although we appear to have wicked through it, it would surprise me if we were able to break cleanly through it and push all the way back towards all-time highs without some potential time either retracing slightly towards lower levels or bouncing towards the side. But actually what's key here isn't necessarily what's happening on the Ethereum US dollar chart, but what's happening on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. So let's jump over there before we come back here and look at some potential price targets. Now, as we can see guys, on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, we did have this falling wedge pattern in this sort of small yellow pattern around here. And then, as I mentioned, we would probably see a breakout to at least the level of around 7%. But in fact, we've gone way harder and faster up. But we have now found resistance around this point. And if you can see, we have now what looks like some sort of a rising channel pattern. So in terms of breaking out of rising channel patterns to the upside, it does happen. It's not impossible, but it does tend to be much rarer. If we look back to around the 7th of June, we also found significant resistance to these levels. But bear in mind, Bitcoin hasn't really been moving significantly the last few days when we've seen Ethereum and the rest of the altcoin market pumping with the Bitcoin dominance falling. So depending on the behavior of Bitcoin, we could potentially see a breakthrough here. But obviously, that doesn't necessarily mean that Ethereum can stop going up. Potentially, we might see Bitcoin fall, in which case we might see Ethereum have a little dip harder back against it. Now, one thing I want to draw your attention to, guys, the Wall Street cheat sheet. I know a lot of people are probably feeling super excited right now. You know, if they bought at all-time highs, they're probably out of the pain game, which they've been sat in for the last few months. If you bought much lower down, you're probably licking your lips at the profits you've just made. But bear in mind, probably, in my opinion, we're sort of slowly edging up towards this. Not necessarily in the terms of the whole cycle, but in terms of the short-term cycle. So if you're looking at putting in trades, etc., once we've just had huge pumps to the upside, be very careful, because often when we get pumps, we get dumps. And when we get dumps, we get pumps. So at the moment, have a look at how the market sentiment is feeling. Look at the news out there. If the news is all towards kind of euphoria, like if we're going to go towards $30,000, etc., then this is probably time that we're going to be looking to take a cool off, in which case you could be looking at taking profits. If you are a long-term holder, then maybe it's not the time to be accumulating more, and perhaps you've got an opportunity to wait for a push to the low side. However, I don't think we're back at this euphoria level yet, so let's jump back to the Ethereum US dollar chart for a Ethereum price predictions. Now, one thing that happens when we get Ethereum pumps like this is obviously the news, etc., is going to push a lot of people in, and they're going to start to get FOMO into the market. But let's remember what we were just talking about, this being a significant line where we found previous resistance here on the way up, and that was flipped then into support. Although at the moment we appear to have broken through that level, and we are now retesting that as support. If we don't push further down below the sort of 3,750 and we can hold above the 3,750 and be able to then push back up towards the 3,800 and hold around those levels, in my opinion, we are going to continue on a push back towards the upside. And if you do see this area here where we saw at around the $4,000. $4,000 being a very round number could well see significant resistance for Ethereum. It's obviously just below the all-time highs. Now, in the past, Ethereum did make this crazy run, and it was way more aggressive than anyone even anticipated. If we are able to push up to all-time highs, then in my opinion, we're going to continue significantly higher. In the shorter term, if we don't manage to sustain ourselves at this level or beyond, then we could see a bit of sideways chop, much like we did see here, where we got a rejection, pushed back down, and then it took a bit more time to form some sort of a pattern, whether we see an ascending wedge like this, whether we see a descending wedge, whether we see some sort of a funnel coming down and going back up, or, etc. In terms of whether we do see a retrace, worst case scenario, if we do see a bounce back down, we could come back to this level. But if we do come back to that level, then that, in my eyes, is a perfect accumulating opportunity, because then we're going to be pushing towards all-time highs. So at the moment, guys, straight after a big pump, it's very difficult to see whether we're going to continue all the way onto the upside. In terms of making decisions, there's always going to be a better time to get on the train than when it's already moving, guys. So in terms of buying, don't get FOMO and jump in when it's moving like this, because potentially it could be due to have a big dump back down to this level. And don't be looking to short it either, because we could just also get crazy continuations like we saw all the way back here, and like we saw again here. So this is very much a sit back and enjoy your profits day. Hope you've enjoyed today's content, guys. Make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the video more than you know. And hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you again later with another video. Bye-bye.